weeks, he said. 2 weeks. Oh, well, why be surprised? We shouldn't be. But I do wonder what Bernie Sanders has to say about this.
Statement from Donald Trump, quote,
this is why he's on the rally.
We completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, etc.
They ain't happy. No more war.
I agree.
Too late.
And I want to tell you something. Not only is this news that I've just heard this second alarming, that all of you have just heard, but it is so grossly unconstitutional. All of you know.
Who holds the purse?
The only
Okay.
entity that can take this country to war is the U.S. Congress. The president does not have the right.
Nope.
This is a statement.
Oh, my Gideon. This ain't gonna end well. This ain't gonna end well. Americans have just been drawn into another regional war in the Middle East. Will the UK be drawn into it? Possibly, since there's the bases and all that, the bases that we have. I'm sure that Trump's going to want to use them. Especially after Iran bombs all the US bases. This ain't going to end well. This ain't going to end well. No. Hello, Earl of Earl. Started with ads. Oh, God. That's not helpful, mate. That's not helpful. It's just...
That's a freaking great
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Anyway, I've got quite a few articles here that we need to get through. And anyway, I hope you're having a nice Sunday morning. After hearing this news, I'm not so sure. This is madness. He said that he's a peace president. Yesterday or the day before, he said he should get a Nobel Peace Prize. And then he bombs around. Oh my God, this is very worrying. This is very worrying, and other countries are going to be drawn into it. We need to condemn it now. Venezuela has. Yeah, we need to condemn that war now, and it's... What thing to wake up to? I'm in France, you see, so this happened a few hours ago, and they bombed Iran with these bunker busting bombs at that main site, the mountain Kudrow, and then about 30 odd ballistic missiles. This is just crazy. This is crazy. The man, this is without congressional authority. Bernie Sanders has just done his rally a few hours ago, and the bombing raid happened while he was doing his rally. So he's needless to say, he made his announcement, and the chants were, no more war, no more war. He reckoned he was the peace president. What a mockery. So much for his 2 weeks! Yeah, another distraction. But that's what it's all about for Donald Trump. His presidency is going down the pan. He sees his popularity ratings going down the pan, and he knows he's going to lose control. So Putin's obviously rubbing his hands together. He might say, oh, don't, Iran, the supporters of Iran, but then it takes the emphasis, the interest of Ukraine, takes the interest of what Netanyahu's doing in Gaza, and it takes the interest of what's happening at home with these ice raids. Like Steve Bannon said, swamp the zone. Flood the zone, flood the zone, he said, didn't he? Flood the zone. That's what Donald Trump is doing. He's always looking for the next dead cat to throw into the ring, and this is one massive bloody... It's just... Oh, dear. Oh dear. So American soldiers are effectively going to be sacrificed for Donald Trump's ego. And they know. And they know he's played Donald Trump like a fucking fiddle, he has. He really has. Anyway, don't forget to boot the old like button while you're here. Boot the old like button. Oh, blimey. Let me just play that again from Bernie Sanders. Because it came through as he was making his, his rally. Here we go.
We have completed a statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful..."
You don't need to apologise for America. It's not your fault. Not unless you voted for him.
Something. Not only is this news that I've just heard, the second alarming that all of you have just heard, but it is so grossly unconstitutional. All of you know that the only entity that can take this country.
Good morning, Reagan.
Is the U.S. Congress. The president does not have the right.
Nope. Power of the purse and all that. Power of the purse. Oh, there. But then Donald Trump don't care about any of that, does he? You see, what he does is he deflects, delays. He court cases against him, he then appeals, and it takes weeks, if not years. Meanwhile, he's carrying on. Yeah, he gets a temporary reprieve and carries on, like for instance the National Guard in Los Angeles carries on doing what he's doing, and they're getting more aggressive. Then the people, needless to say, are going to get aggressive in return, and then it's going to escalate in the US as well regarding ICE. He is surrounded now and responsible for conflict everywhere. You see, the thing about Iran is these people are vicious. They are. They will sacrifice their own lives, kamikaze style, and like they did, it wasn't Iran, but 9/11 and what have you. Same heritage, same beliefs in many ways. The Iranians will sacrifice themselves just to kill you in the US. They just will. There'll be another 9/11. And that'll escalate. Oh dear. And we're all going to get drawn into it. I'm hoping Keir Starmer stops sucking at old Donald Trump's chocolate starfish, if you know what I mean, in the UK, so they don't assist in this war. UK mustn't assist in this war. We've got bases over there as well. It'd be absolute madness to get involved. Now, I believe there should be I've got 80 years now. There should be a regime change in the US. I do believe that, but not like this. This isn't how you're going to achieve it. The people have to achieve it. I suggested in my live yesterday, I read it should be like the worm turned, and the women of Iran should stand up. Yes. Oh, mate, and make the Iranian men wear buckets on their heads or something like that, This is all madness. It's all madness. And, what do you think? How is this going to end? Is it going to end? What is the agenda? Is it all part of the, distraction, Project 2025? Is it just a way for Donald Trump to hold on to power in the US, martial law and stuff? You see, there's going to be protests. There already has been protests everywhere. Now, there's going to be those even on the right, MAGA supporters. They'll be joining the protests, anti-war protests. Donald Trump got in on that ticket of being this so-called anti-war president, a peace president. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. You just got to see what he's done. Bunker busters have gone in. He says it's obliterated. It's been a perfect mission, he says. A perfect mission. Oh my God. There's nothing glamorous about killing people. He's making it as glamorous. These people are insane. Absolutely insane. And that's what you got for a president. Someone who's clearly losing his affected mind and body. You know, his skin looks like it's gone, sort of looked out in the sun too long. It's turned to some old leather stuff. I don't know what you call it. He's old, you know. He's 79 now. So the US bombs 3 major nuclear sites in Iran, bringing the country directly into an Israel-Iran conflict. They were already in the conflict. They were complicit. If they weren't supplying the missiles, the bombs, and God knows what else, and the intelligence, well then, quite frankly, Israel would not have been been able to be so aggressive. Donald Trump says the strikes are totally obliterated, bigly, Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities, and tells Tehran to make peace or face far greater attacks in the future. And he'll do it. He's proved he will now, hasn't he? The other thing about this is that there's no rise in radiation levels around these places, around these sites. You would expect, after being blown to smithereens and all the containment is destroyed and what have you, you'd expect there to be raised radiation levels, wouldn't you? But there isn't. There's no radiation levels raised around it. So that makes you wonder, doesn't it? You know, how far were they ahead, if they were at all, regarding enrichment? There's a lot of questions that need to be asked. And this is early days, isn't it? It's only just happened. There's going to be a lot of stuff. A lot of people are going to speculate. We're all going to speculate. We're all going to have ideas, what's going on, and opinions on what's going on and how it affects the people of the United States. How does this affect Donald Trump and his presidency? It could go one of two ways, couldn't it? It can either be his make him or break him. I think it's certainly going to break him, isn't it, really? But there, he's already raised his popularity rates. That's, on his Truth Social, he's been literally posting one half the other about his approval ratings and some random poll somewhere that nobody's heard of before. And because, the mainstream polls have basically been saying that nobody likes him. Nobody likes you, Donny. Unless people have literally lost their minds. So the UN's nuclear watchdog says no increase in radiation levels has been detected. No increase. The UK was not involved in the US strikes, but was told about them in advance. I wonder what they thought about that at the time. The Security Council in the UK, I wonder how they felt about that. Oh shit, it's about to hit the fan. That it is. Israel and Iran are continuing their attacks. Exchange of fire, You sunk my battleships. I sink yours too. Well, in this case, I'm talking battleships. What about the Straits, the Hormuz Straits? About 30% of the world's oil go through there. 30% of the world's oil. Yeah, it's about 30 or 20%. I can't remember that actually. It's 30 or 20. Anyway, a lot of the world's oil from Qatar goes through there. Well, it would hurt Iran as well, so they might not do it, but they could make that impassable. They really could. And that will obviously affect everybody. We'll see oil prices are going to go up. Russia's going to be very happy about that because obviously they're going to make more money, so they can actually build more bombs. And then you've got China as well, sitting on the fence. They're complicit as well. They're pretty much Russia's war machine there. They're supplying shitloads of stuff for Russia regarding building these Shaya drones, these Iranian drones in Russia. They're all complicit. The BRICS, for instance, have just now allowed some more free trade within the BRICS. China has within the BRICS group of countries, like a trading union. See, this is what happens when you attack, right? People will either push back with equal or greater force, and that's generally what happens. And it's not just in war itself, like what's going on in Iran, but also in trade. You start putting tariffs on people, like for instance Canada, they push back. Now they're talking about putting pretty hefty, not talking about they're planning to put hefty tariffs on the US, goods coming into, or steel, whatever coming into, or steel products coming into Canada. So they're pushing back. It's the same with war. Now, it all depends who's got the bigger stick. You could argue the United States has, but they haven't been that successful in the past. They start a war, they occupy for a bit, and then they walk out and then literally just give the enemy all their kit. That's Donald Trump for you. Donald Trump, his negotiating tactic is, okay, then you can have everything. And literally that's what happened in Afghanistan with the Taliban. That wasn't a negotiation, that was just say, we're getting out. There you go. And just hand them everything, including all their Humvees. And let's have a look at the old chat here. Hello, Joni and Dyson, hope you're well. There will always be two divide in any country, I know. Well, there's always a right and there's left people. How can we curve that? How can we get on a level playing field with the people? Why has there got to always be a proportion of the population that are excessively aggressive, and a portion of a population you could say are excessively soft, and then never two shall meet? Why can't, we're supposed to have this middle ground, and we can agree to disagree in that, but no. They'll just attack you. One way or the other. With our minds or with our weapons. That's a shame, really, isn't it? Gibberish! Gibberish to you two, gibberish. Of course, what the fuck are you talking about? F Oceans, what F Oceans say. There we go, up we go. Might as well been retracted. No, it's gone. There'll be two divides, yeah. Just rambling to himself. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm expressing myself. And I've got an audience to express to. It doesn't matter how these my opinions. I do read a hell of a lot, alright, about what's going on in the world. I really do, because I'm a channel and stuff. But do I know everything? Of course I bloody don't. Do you? Are you well informed? Probably not, if you're following Donald Trump. Because he certainly isn't. I'm just a woodworker, alright? But I believe in practicality, I believe in common sense. I join bits of wood together and they have to fit. Alright, that's just common sense to me. Unfortunately, the world is just a whole load of, dysfunctional joints. There's always knowledge to be had. There is. On both sides, And it's not to say the left are always right. Well, anyway, doesn't mean to say that they're correct, that the left is always correct, because they're not. Or the middle ground, or the right. We all make mistakes in life, don't we? We all have opinions that can't be realised because we don't necessarily understand or know the nuances or the other complications that could draw a different conclusion. We can be criticising Trump. Obviously, he's going by advice that he's got. Or is he? Because Tulsi Gabbard doesn't have a clue what's going on. And also, a few months ago, she said that Iran didn't have the capacity to build these missiles, nuclear missiles, or have a nuclear armament, unlike Netanyahu, who's been saying since 1995, I think it is. And then there's yesterday, she then stood up and said, yes, they have. So she went, within 2 months, gone against what she said, just because Donald Trump found out what she said. So he's got her out there to, say the opposite. She's just holding on to her job. That's all it is. It's just a game to them. And you're the pawns. American soldiers and citizens and other individuals, including Europeans or what have you, they could get drawn into this and they're going to lose their lives. and obviously innocent Iranians as well. People who are just trying to get by on their lives, you know. Remember, it's a regime, just like the United States regime. There's a lot of people not very happy with what's going on in the United States at the moment. I'm not happy. I'm a British citizen living in France. I'm not happy with what's going on in the United States. I don't like to see ICE going in there and literally beating people, then shoving them in the back of an SUV. Or smashing their van windows and that, then dragging them out. I don't know. Why do people think this is a good idea? Why do citizens think this is a good idea? So all of a sudden, you're going to get MAGA saying, "Oh, that's the right thing to do," and it already started. It was like, "Yes, bro, good Trump," and all that sort of, you know, bigging them up and what have you. They're already doing it. When Donald Trump accused Obama for the same things when Obama was in, and Donald Trump didn't look quite so orange and wrinkly. Geraldine Dyson says, "I'm from the UK. What do you think what's going on in the UK as well? It's shit." Brexit has destroyed the United Kingdom's ability to trade, as it once did. Anything that Donald Trump, that Keir Starmer can do can only soften the blow that Brexit's made. It can't fix it. There is no fixing Brexit. There's only one fix. It ain't gonna happen. The UK is going to have to diversify, and so is the United States going to have to diversify, because it's broken its relationships with other countries. And now, obviously, there's going to be no trade with Iran, if there ever was. And, you know, and then there's Canada, you know, the Canadians, their elbows up and all that, you know, boycotting pretty much everything in the United States, and other countries are following suit. This is killing the US farming industry. US soy, for instance, crashed by 30%, value crashed by 30% in the US, from around $15 to about $10. All of a sudden, the farmers aren't making any money. America needs more at-home supply chains, to be honest, and not diversification. That is true to an extent, but there are things you can't do. There's stuff that the United States cannot make. Same in the United Kingdom, for instance. The United Kingdom hasn't been able to grow all its food for the last 200 odd years. Ironically, it's the same length of time was the last time that Iran actually started a war. 200 years ago. Hello, Alistair. I hope you're well, my friend. Don't forget to boot the old like button. I've got 215 people there and only 28 likes. How can that be possible? Like. Or you say, "Oh, crikey, who's this idiot?" Then you're buggering off again. Nebraska farmers, yeah, they're one of them. Nebraska, Kansas, and Idaho. Idaho? Yeah, I think it's Idaho. Basically struggling getting their farmers. Well, they've got no one to pick, have they? They've got no staff. They haven't got a market. The biggest problem, obviously, for them, it's not just the fact they can't grow the stuff or pick the stuff. They can't actually sell the stuff. China's shifted its buying of soybean, for instance, from to Mexico and Brazil. Brazil's done very well out of this trade war. Very well. You know, the problem is, you see, when they grow the stuff, it gets shoved in silos, right? Ready to be shipped on to abroad or somewhere else, right? The problem is that it's not coming out of the silos. It's staying put. They've just been stored for longer periods of time. So as they harvest the stuff on the fields, they've got nowhere to put it. The farmers are having to actually grind their grain up, and they literally just use it for feed for the animals instead. Just to get rid of it. It's just madness. You see, they're losing shitloads of money. And these farmers have got huge debts. They can't sustain their debts. Suicide rates are up as well in the farming industry. And similar's happening in the UK as well, because Brexit has made it very difficult UK farmers. Although a recent agreement with EU has softened things a little bit regarding the red tape. But the United States is effectively ostracising itself, and now other world leaders are going to look on this and say, "Hang on, we don't want no part of this war. We don't want to get involved. We don't want suicide bombers in our country, thank you very much." No. It's me, says it's me. Yep, mostly voted for him. Yes, they did, and they paid and they've paid and have their hands out asking for a bailout now. Now, last time Donald Trump gave them that bailout, I don't think he will this time. No, because he has more support. He has more support. So, what we got? Oh, somebody at the door.
Are you live?
I'm live.
I'm only come to tell you don't hurry because
Don't hurry.
Jessna messaged to say
Okay.
would 2 o'clock be better?
Yep. Okay, that's good.
She says a lot cooler today anyhow, and they're not ready either.
Oh, okay. Because we're going to go canoeing. We're going canoeing today in the sun, get burnt.
That's really cloudy today. There's no sun.
Oh, I don't know if I want to go canoeing. It's cloudy.
No, but it's 30 degrees.
Oh, maybe we'll then. Oh dear.
So that's just to say.
Ronnie
Don't
Pickering.
worry.
All right, then. Thank you. I've been informed. I don't have to worry. I think we all need to bloody worry with what's going on at the moment. Yeah, just in case you're wondering, yes, I am married, and this isn't my bedroom. And it isn't my mother's bedroom either. She's dead. Oh, God. Yeah, I get that as well. That and Jack Black. Hey, Jack Black. Yeah, Iran's nuclear program hit substantially, but full details yet to emerge. And Israel's president tells the BBC. Pressed on whether Iran's nuclear capabilities have been limited, Herzog says he doesn't know the details. But it's quite clear to me that the Iranian nuclear program has been hit substantially. He's also asked if Israel directly requested Trump to attack Iran. Herzog says, we decided to leave it to the Americans. Well, we don't know what's been said behind closed doors, and they ain't going to tell us anyway. What's the stupid question? They're not going to say, are they? Just like Donald Trump wouldn't say about attacking Iran in the last couple of days. He said, 2 weeks! I'll tell you in 2 weeks! It's always 2 weeks. So it's the Foreign Minister of the UK. Where is he? Here he is. David Lammy. He's met with Iran's foreign minister alongside other European FMs. This was a few days ago now. So UK Foreign Minister David Lammy says the UK did not, this bit's today actually, obviously, participate in these strikes, referring to the US bombing of 3 Iranian nuclear sites. Do we believe them? That's the thing I ask. I think I do in this case. But when I see Donald Trump dropping on the floor the so-called trade deal between the United Kingdom and the United States, and the pages were all blank apart from a signature. There's nothing on these pages that's apparently the trade deal. If they lie about that, here's a trade deal, it's just a show, isn't it? Everything's a show. It's like a big game to them, but people's lives are on the line. People are going to be, soldiers, for instance, especially, and citizens, they're going to get killed. They are. Iran is going to start attacking US bases and ships going down the Humas. Oh dear. Now, he's already been criticised. This is against international law. It's against your own laws in the US. The United States, at the end of the day, it should be... Well, it's good to Congress, shouldn't they? They hold the purse. So the US attack is a violation of international law, says the Iranian ambassador to the United Kingdom. He's actually right. It is. We've just been hearing from the Iranian ambassador to the United Kingdom, who tells the BBC that the US is squandering the United Nations Charter and its overnight attacks, with its overnight attacks on Iran. Sayed Ali Mousavi tells Laura Kunzenberg of the BBC that the US strikes are a violation of international law as he dodges questions on the damage caused to his country's nuclear facilities. I'm sure the damage is pretty severe. Whether those bunker busters managed to get deep enough, I don't know. They can go down about 200 feet apparently, but these bases are that 400 feet down. So we'll see. Bit of multiples, I suppose, one after the other. He says that attacks are a violation of Iranian sovereignty and territorial integrity. Remember, they're Iran. They have. To be fair to Trump, Iran is a state sponsor of terrorism and war. Houthi rebels, for instance, in Yemen and whatever. So Kuzenberg, she challenged him on the civilian losses on both sides and have experienced over the past week, to which he replies, we are defending. They're not going to tell you. So if they don't want to tell you, they're not going to tell you, are they? Let's be honest. Now, Iran or Tehran army says war starts right now. That's their response. War starts right now. And Trump declares the US has struck Iran's nuclear sites. Oh, damn. Now, I know it's early days as yet. We can all speculate, like I said earlier, but we don't really know what's going to happen from this. We don't really know what other world leaders are going to say about this. Some of them is fairly foregone conclusion, you know. Vladimir Putin's going to obviously condemn it, but also be rubbing his hands together at the same time because the barrel price is going to go up. Yes, your cost of fuel will go up. Bound to, innit? The US President is set to meet with his national security team on Saturday evening. He previously stated that he would delay a decision on the US involvement in the conflict for up to 2 weeks. 2 weeks! It reminds me of Total Recall. When Schwarzenegger's head blows up. Anyway, war starts right now. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Tehran's main army branch, said overnight on Sunday after the US forces struck 3 nuclear sites in Iran. According to the US President Donald Trump, Trump posted on the Truth Social account that a full payload, yes, a full payload of bombs was dropped on the Fordo, Natanz, and Escalation nuclear sites. Now, congratulations, he says, to our great American warriors. Yes, while they're sitting in their little aeroplanes, away from all the missiles, right up in the B-2s, you know, right out of the way, yeah. Heroes. Trump said that Iran must now make peace, and if they don't, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran, he said. Remember, there are many targets left, and tonight after the most difficult of them, all by far. Now, what if other countries, let's say for instance, I don't know, well, obviously, you could potentially Pakistan, China, for even, you know, the BRICS countries as a whole, India. None of them are getting on very well with the US at the moment with these tariffs. They can't seem to negotiate any deals, can they? You see, wars are... They're either being fought on the basis of greed and sense of, you know, obviously shitloads of money gets spent on munitions and then obviously potential of stripping the country dry of mineral deposits or, I don't know, or spices. Years gone by. The India Trading Company and all that. And where'd it go from here, though? Trade, you know, can stop wars. It can keep you war free because, you know, you create these bonds and ties. Like we've got bonds and ties with China. We might not like it, but we have. Pretty much everything you buy is from China. From your clothes to your electronic devices. China can it's big time. Now, with this uncertainty, you can imagine what's going to be happening with the bond and the value of the dollar, and the dollar will end up on your borrowing in the bond market. That's going to dramatically take away residual monies in your budget, if there is any. It's like Donald Trump is literally trying to destroy the United States' ability, literally trying to demean it and demolish it into nothing. It's killing his trade. It's killing the world presence and soft power. And now everybody hates it. There ain't going to be many countries that are going to be, oh yeah, great work on you, Johnny. Are there? They ain't going to be. They're all going to be, you know, they're going to condemn what's going on because they don't want to get involved. Donald Trump says the Tehran regime deserved it. The senior US senator from South Carolina added, "Well done, President," Graham said. "To my fellow citizens, we have the best air force in the world." Oh, you know, it's bigly. And it makes me so proud. either getting involved in, by proxy in wars, or by supplying the munitions, or you're actually, now you're actually in a war. They've said, haven't they? The Iranians have said, well, we are now at war. How long will it last? Vietnam lasted a fair old while, didn't it? 20 odd years in Afghanistan. Iraq. Where does it all end? So Trump's decision obviously has directly involved the United States. Don't forget, beat the like button. And if you want to super chat, I'll make sure I can see your comments down below. So let's go on to the comments. Just double check. Yeah, Jordan Peterson is a grifter. Isn't that funny though? That all these people, like Jordan Peterson and Tucker Carlson and even Steve Bannon, they're all dead. Actually, I haven't heard Peterson actually recently was responsible on this, but all the others, they're all basically condemning. They support Donald Trump, but they don't support a war with Iran. Yeah, Jordan Peterson, he's Canadian, isn't he? Yeah, he's Canadian, isn't he, Jordan Peterson? Yeah, he's a grifter. Didn't he get expelled from his from the organisation? I'm a left winger, so what's next? You're going to picture that a better idea. What have I been missing there? I've been missing something from there in the chat, haven't I? What is your solution? I ain't got a solution. How have I got a solution? Don't attack them. That's the solution. The market charts look disgusting, yes. Either there's a massive artificial bubble that needs to pop, or the market is a scam and money has printed. Well, we had a bubble because people, all of a sudden, people were buying and selling because it was before the tariffs kicked in. And the tariffs kicked in, and all of a sudden it just plummeted. It's just... We had this with Brexit, actually, and post-COVID, where we saw everything just all of a sudden just go up, didn't we, for 1 month, and then everything just plummeted. It's just like, everyone's like, oh, breathe now, we're out of solidarity, we're out of, we can now talk to people, out of lockdowns. So they ended up spending like crazy, and then, it's about the climax, I prefer being in my little bubble. Stop spending again. The other thing in the United States is the spending is down. People aren't spending money. No. We haven't seen inflation, though, you see. No. Because we haven't seen inflation, that tells us that people aren't spending the money. Because they did expect to see some inflation, didn't they? Australia has a great relationship with China. Well, yeah, they keep supplying them with stuff. Coal and what, don't they? Oil directly affects transit and costs are great. Well, yeah, because for a start you've got shipping, you've got bunker fuel, and if, for instance, you can't get your ships through, there's the Red Sea, for instance, no ships have been going through there at all. Stealth. The only greedy guys. Yeah, that's quite good. Yeah, that's quite good. Only greedy guys win. Yeah, those who have invested in munitions, for instance, those who have pretty much put you in this position, they're the only winners here. If you take into account that the UK is taking Scottish, let's get it straight, right? The United Kingdom is bleeding Scotland dry. The United Kingdom is quite happy building all these second wind turbines, which I think are great, but then don't provide the infrastructure to get electricity out of the country, pushing up the cost of green energy, which is still the cheapest, mind. So it's Scotland, you need to get out, mate. You need to get out. Just thought to me, it's very interesting that the oil price is always like the biggest topic for the average American citizen. I think when there's one singular thing, one thing that kind of depicts everything and affects everything, that's all. oil and grain even, anything that's sold on the world market. But oil is the big one, isn't it, about the gallon price, when you pay the least in the United States than anywhere, it's... I know your gallon's about 3.5 litres or something like that. But for gallon, we're paying, 4.55 litres to a gallon in in Europe. So at the moment we're paying about 150, 155 a litre. So it's a darn sight more than what you're paying. It is a big part of your bills, yes. And also if you're using fuel for, oil for eating and what have you, that also causes a lot of problems. Don't forget, a lot of this stuff is heavily taxed abroad. I don't know what the taxes are like in the US for fuel. Can't be quite as bad, can it? If you take into account that the UK, I've done that already, Australia has a great relationship with China, done that already, Jordan Peters, there we come. What's your solution? I ain't got them. No, I don't. How are we going to have a solution on it? We can all speculate. We can all come up with ideas, but we do not have the intelligence. We do not know what's going on. These are just ideas, right? So we haven't really got any solutions. Has Donald Trump got any solutions? No, because he's winging it. He's winging it, and also he's suckling on to old Netanyahu after Netanyahu has promised Donald Trump a plaza in Gaza. God's sake. Thanks, Alistair. Jordan Peterson is a grifter. That he is, damn cunt. All I know is that the penal colony prisoners and their social status elevated by helping the British massacre the Australian tribes. Yes, that's very true. Well, good, you know your history. Classic imperial strategy. Well, one imperial strategy is to suppress the people and put the people into fear. And that's what Trump is doing at the moment in the United States. Everyone's afraid. And like he said himself, the homegrowns will be next. You're right, we don't know anything really. We don't know. We don't know the details. We don't know whether or not Iran has actually the capacity. All we're going on about is what rhetoric we've been told, and who's got the biggest voices and the biggest platforms who are owned by billionaires. So we get manipulated. Our opinions get shaped by billionaires. Those, a certain Australian geezer. It's News Corp and others. They shape it. Try and manipulate our thoughts and our opinions. And the amount of times I read an article about a certain topic, that's not true. That's not how it is. And then you read down into the bulk of the article and you realise, that's not what they meant in the first place. But who reads the whole article? Most people just see the headlines. Oh, that's terrible, and then repeat it, and then you got Chinese whispers as well on top of that, and the whole thing is just drawn out of all proportion. Now, I'm going to do a video a bit later about racism, because my grandchildren, 4 of my little grandchildren, black, okay? The father's Nigerian. And one of them the other day received some racism at school. There's a forum on a Facebook group called NR3, something or other, talking about, there was a string of comments and what have you, and talking about how the council's just bought this or restored this property or something for this family, and all based on lies, the whole lot. No truth in it. Both people, they're working people, They've got TVs in every room, that sort of crap. Oh, for God's sake. It's just like, it's this level of hate and jealousy. But these people who are making all these comments are the ones who are on social security and not actually working themselves. Scamming the system, and in some cases on disability when they shouldn't be. And that just affects it for everybody. I mean, as soon as you've got a proportion of a population that's causing problems in a certain sector within the social security. Well, then all disabled people, including my son, who's actually staying with us at the moment, who's disabled, he then has to jump through hoops and what have you, even though he's in a wheelchair, to get his disability, his PIPS payments. What Scottish cat? The Scottish cat 32. Fun fact, around 250 million of energy goes to England every year, but you won't hear some of the no voters talk about that now. Well, they say there's a deficit, but it's actually the other way around as far as I can see. And when they're paying billions just to turn off the wind turbines, that's madness. That power needs to go somewhere. Most of the American South was penal colonies. Maybe it should be again. Well, those prisoners made some cool children. My kids are grandchildren. They are really cool. I think those prisoners just gave birth to Australians. Oh, it's a prison. You're all immigrants. We are all immigrants. I'm an immigrant over there in France for a start. My mother was part Indian, you know. My father, I ain't got a bloody clue about. I think he's broad Norfolk, so we'll see. Dan McCann, this engineer is leaving the United States for odds. Don't blame you. I don't blame you. With all this going on, why would you want to stay there? You're heading for civil war in the United States. You know that, don't you? You are heading for civil war. And it ain't going to be nice. The penal colony. Oh, dear. People... What does the general strike? When does the general strike begin? Now that could be an answer to a lot of problems. A country can't function without the money coming into the old coffers, can it? I think you need. Well, actually, to be fair, you don't even need everyone to participate, because many people who might be on the right, who might agree with all this. Actually, to be fair, a lot of these people on the right don't agree with this either. MAGA don't agree with this war. Anyway, a lot of those who might agree with Donald Trump regarding the war or what's going on regarding the ICE and that, they won't be able to work either. Companies won't be able to function, so that they'll just stop trading altogether. When you've got factories, they can't go down to a skeleton crew. Like, for instance, farms, for instance, are using a lot of non-documented migrants from across the southern border to pick the melons, you know. Have you seen them people work? Blimey, I'd like to see the average American do that job. Fucking hell. You know, we had the same problem in the UK. We've had strawberries rotting in fields, we've had pumpkins rotting in fields, courgettes rotting in fields, all because we couldn't get the staff because of Brexit. And now you've got the Trump. He's commenting on our downfall. Oh dear. I wish it really wasn't necessary. I really don't. It affects us all, you see. If the United States sneezes, we all catch a cold. We do. Might not like it, but it's just a fact of life. We do. We all catch a cold. So I think it's important. It's like whenever all these for instance, the Brexiters in the UK will say, "Oh yeah, this will be the end of it's still there, by the way. The end of the European Union if the United Kingdom leaves the European Union." They were saying back in 2015, 2016. Like I say, it hasn't happened yet. But what these people don't seem to realise is we trade with these countries. And because we trade with these countries, we want them to be successful too. So they can spend more money with us. So they can buy our goods. We do a lot less actual trade of products with countries that have a massive wealth divide, because the majority of the population are poor. Are Amazon tribesmen poor? That's actually a really good point. Are Amazon tribesmen poor? No, they just don't get involved in capitalism. Now, I used to be involved in capitalism, businesses and stuff in the UK, and I left. Right, and I suppose I'm still involved in capitalism to some degree, but my requirements are a lot less than they used to be. Okay, so yeah, we grow a lot of own food and that, and our footprint is very low, but also our need of buying products is very, very low, and I make most stuff anyway. Are we happy? I suppose that we are. Are we poor? I'd say we're not poor in the sense that we've got a house, but we are poor in the sense that our income is very low. We don't earn very little money, but we get by. You know, would it be nice to have a bit more? Would it be nice to be able to think, okay, save for our future and stuff? You know, pension. Well, then obviously it would be, but that's not the case. In the UK, it was chasing my tail. Constantly chasing my tail to earn as much money as I possibly could, and constantly climbing that hill. Did you ever really get over the top of it? Nah. I realised that. So no, I agree. It's not all necessarily about wealth. You know, the tribesmen, they're happy because hunter-gatherers and all that, you know, then they look after their families and they have their children and what have you. Okay, they don't have medical, but in some cases they're not going to need it as much. You know, are there? Do they die at an earlier age? Most probably. But we are literally just kept alive. Where the difference is, I suppose they have actually been living, and they don't necessarily eat to excess either, do they? They eat for necessity. We eat because, that looks nice. I'll have a bit of that lemon tart, thank you. Yeah, well, that's well said. That's a very good point. There we come. Don't get beat with the old like button. 154 people there and 58 likes. They've had 300 people one earlier today. Native Americans still use US dollars. Well, that's come from somewhere, doesn't it? It's the same economy. Well, there has been talk about the US dollar being abandoned by a lot of other countries. They already have started, to be honest. They're already selling the dollar, aren't they? You know, China is, India is, you know. That was Japan. Japan holds around 1.1 or 1.3 trillion in US debt. It's they've been selling it, and it just devalues it. They don't want to do it all at once, unless their goal was to destroy the US economy. No, they don't, because obviously they want to devalue it so much they lose money. In the UK, they're crazy for money. They are crazy. I think everyone's crazy for money, but are they in particular? At the moment, I think people just want to get by. In the UK, as people are struggling, you know, cost of living crisis and what have you. No one seems to be being any better off at all, do they? You know, if you want to first super chat, make sure I see your comment. Only the greedy need to be rich. Not all greedy are rich, though. Well, greed comes. That's a good point actually, because greed can be not just monetary, can't it? It could be in stuff. And if you are, I suppose, a tribe. The stuff could be some different stuff. I don't know what sort of stuff it might be. But, you know, it could be women. Greedy for women. I want to have 100 wives. 100 wives I do. Just like that geezer who owns Telegram. He says he's got 100 children, but they're all from sperm donations. People say that people come to their country to steal their jobs. They're stealing the jobs, and the women they are. That's what they say. But most of the jobs they do are jobs that they don't want to do in the first place. So the jobs, what jobs are they stealing then? They're not exactly. Now, Caroline, my dear wife's uncle, well, he came visit. He voted for Brexit, right? He came visit. He said, I voted Brexit because the immigrants come over here, getting jobs here, and they'll work Saturdays. That was his argument for Brexit. To work Saturdays, and he was frightened that he was going to be made to work Saturdays. I thought, oh, God's sake. They're working Saturdays, so you don't have to, you fool. Oh, there are these people. I'm not saying they don't want to, but I'm saying that other countries are actually looking at other options. It's a case about using the dollar, but it's a case of where is their money safe? That's not seen as being safe. In the US dollar is not a safe currency now. It's not. See, Donald Trump is too volatile, and he does some things that all of a sudden increases the dollar, then he does something that literally makes the dollar plummet like crazy. You can't invest on that basis because you don't know what he's going to do next. The whole point of investing in the dollar is to put the money somewhere safe where it accrues value. And the dollar was one of the places where it accrued more value than some of the other currencies. So that's why they did. That's why they did it. That's why China did it. That's why they've got to put the money somewhere. Otherwise, it's not doing anything. Greedy for food and beer. Oh, that sounds like a plan. I know one tribe used to collect marbles until the Western countries forged them all. But we, the UK, did make them that illegal to prevent people taking advantage. That's interesting. Is greed a product of fear? Or is fear maybe a product of greed? Is greed a product of fear? Are you saying the fear of loss? Of losing your money? Because they always seem to want more, don't they? The billionaires. Are they petrified that they're going to lose it all? So they want to keep gaining more. Once they've got it, they don't want to let it go. So I suppose that is fair. All my homies hate immigrants except the illegal ones. Why no one wants to use the US dollar? That's a question. It's good money. It's not good money at the moment. No. The United States is not a good place to invest. Not anymore. If you're going to make an investment, you need security. And if security is some idea of what the future holds, for trading, for instance, well then, stocks and shares, all the dollar, well, you need that safety net. If you're doing long-term investments, like say, for instance, building a factory. See, you might today think, okay, I got to build a factory in there because these tariffs. What if Donald Trump all of a sudden goes back on the tariffs? You spent all that money invested in, all of a sudden you are building at a loss, potentially, because everybody else has gone back to building everything abroad. You can't trust him. You can't trust Donald Trump. There's no longevity in anything he says. The same people that complain about will be made to work on Saturdays are the same people who want to minimise workers' rights. They're the same people who want to take away the ECHR for the United Kingdom. The European Convention on Human Rights has got nothing to do with the European Union. Before someone says it's the European Union, no. It's the European Convention of Human Rights. That convention protects British citizens as well while we are a member, while we are abroad as well. So if you are like myself living in France, that protects my rights. It's not just in the United Kingdom, and it's not just protecting the rights of so-called illegals. There's economic impact of using the dollar over native currency, particularly to government agencies. Hello there. Hey Marcus, thanks for your concise analysis and commentary on the traitorous, vindictive, demented King Trump's tyrannical reign. Yes, he is a tyrant. He is the tangerine Palpatine that he is. To America, by Trump's tyrannical stupidity. God bless. Elbows up, Canada. Yeah, Mark Carney got his bill through, which is good. Hopefully that'll help. It's me, says they have to build their rockets. Yeah. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe these old bombs that they just dropped on Iran were old ones, so they thought, oh, you know, we can replace our stocks with new ones. We just got to drop a few. Greed is a product of competition and scarcity. Well, that's a bit deeper. Greed can stem from loss, fear of loss. So, yeah, you can say, regarding, I've got my money now, I want to hold on to it. Just not wanting others to have it, which is the worst greed. Yeah, I've got it just. Holding on to it and even destroying it just so others can't have it. No, you haul behind a hearse. Haul behind a hearse. Well, that's analogy enough, isn't it? Yeah, economies hate political instability, definitely. There's no logic there, is there? There's no logic at all. There's no logic behind the tariffs. There might be in Donald Trump's mind, but there isn't any, not for anybody else. It's guesswork. It's just one great big gamble. It was a gamble. It was a gamble before, but now it's just like, who's holding the cards here? 3 more years to go. Don't say that. And then Donald Trump will probably ban the midterms or something, because he's frightened he's going to lose the House. Trump, I lost faith in when he upped the US debt budget after all the Doge stuff. Oh my giddy aunt. Was it another 2.7 trillion or something? Oh God, something like 3 trillion. It's a lot of money. A hell of a lot of money. The man who said that he got to lower the debt and he's going to increase the debt. The man who said, Obama's going to take you into war with Iran. Yeah. Then Donald Trump takes you into war with Iran. It's just... Can't people see... Yeah, the MAGA are actually defending this. It's just, can't they see the truth? How do I feel about Iran screaming death to America? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. Oh, sorry about that. You take care, Mary Lies. You better go and get your dad. I hope everything's okay. Besides struggling to live within our means, what upsets us is that our future being exploited by government's high tax policies. Is this true for all over the world? There's a bit of a difference here in France in that the people will protest and protest hard. I mean, they know how to protest in France. They cause a lot of disruption. And because of that, we're talking about greed and what have you, the greed of power maybe, that is being controlled through the fear that there's going to be another protest. So, yeah, the French, especially the farmers, they'll just literally get their muck spread and stuff, because they have done before, sprayed liquid manure on government buildings. It's quite interesting here. Yeah, so I do genuinely believe that the French government do what they feel is necessary. Do they always get it right? Of course they don't. Does any government always get it right? Of course they don't. But I think the intentions are in the right place. Is there corruption? There can be a certain amount of corruption. There always is. Because we're talking about money, aren't we? And where there's money, there's greed. Or it. So the arms do expire, so that wouldn't shock me. Got to get rid of the missiles so we can buy new ones. Jerry. They're not very bright in the USA. That's not everybody. I've made this mistake in the past where I've kind of tarnished everybody with the same brush. Not intentionally, but it sounded like that. And I've been criticised like that. I've been criticised for tarnishing everybody with the same brush in the United States. No, they're not. Not everybody's a fool. There's a lot of very smart, very clever, very sane people in the United States. Sadly, 32% of the voting population in the United States voted for Donald Trump. And that is insanity. That is definitely insanity. But they did, and we're seeing the results of that now, aren't we? You had an economy that was growing. Now it's depleting. You had relative peace, and now you have not. I mean, in your country. You got the risk of civil war, which you didn't have before. He's broken everything. Literally, one thing after another. Once he's broken one thing, he moves on to. He's like that kid, isn't he? The kid in the class, or in the playroom where the other kids are playing with their toys, and Donald Trump doesn't want them to have them, so he stomps on them. Yeah, because they won't give them to him, so he just stomps on them. He's a petulant child, that's what he is. Yeah, he's been bankrupted 6 times, he has. Trump was bankrupted casinos. How the heck do you do that? How do you bankrupt a casino? Well, he does that by, when he buys the casino, he charged the casinos a huge fee just to have him to serve. You get a majority, so he can do this, because he ends up with a majority share in the casino. He then authorises the casino to pay him a huge sum of money, and then effectively put the casino into a negative equity and then into debt, and then it fails. He does it each time. He's a cash extractor. That's what Donald Trump is. He's a cash extractor, and well, I'm sorry, but he's an alleged sex offender. There's more than one report of him being a little bit too touchy-feely with young girls. And so yeah, the man's evil. I do think Trump beats Biden. My God, really? Your economy was doing very well under Biden. Kamala, but it's like the UK. We choose between the cons of Labour. Both suck, and you've got to vote for the lesser of two evils. You can't compare Labour to Donald Trump. You can't compare Keir Starmer to Donald Trump. There is no comparison there. I'm no Keir Starmer fan. I never have been. I had high hopes for Labour once he took over, but he soon proved otherwise. But to compare the state of the United Kingdom's economy and the politics of the United Kingdom with what is going on in the United States is madness. And also, sorry, but to compare Donald Trump with a very clever, very educated, bright woman, Kamala Harris, and Biden, is also madness. There's no way on this earth is Donald Trump a better president than Biden. There's just no way on this earth. It's just not possible. Donald Trump is a tyrant. He's a tyrant. And this is no longer a government, it's a regime. Big Daddy, thanks, my buddy. Oh, thank you. Thank you for $10 super chat. Yay, got a super chat. My first super chat after 1 hour and 10 minutes. And 223 people here at the moment. And people that like buttons, 72 likes at the moment, and we've got 223 people here. Be nice if it's sort of like on par, wouldn't it? I do think Trump beats Biden. I'm sorry, I think you're wrong on that one. He's definitely not the lesser of two evils. He told you what he was going to do during his campaigns, and none of that stuff made any sense. In fact, he made no sense half the time. It was just gibberish. Melania super. Why is Melania with Trump? Well, it's about money, isn't it? Let's be honest. Where's she from? Is she from Slovenia or Slovakia or somewhere? Quite tired, says, I respect France's protesting skills. We can all learn a bit from the French protesters. They know how to do it, they do. They literally just, they stop you from getting through. You know, I've been in the middle of all sorts of protests here. Hey, Alison, cheers, buddy. Cherry, that was lame. You're, sorry. Are you eight or what's Sherry say? Oh, okay. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and this fact lasts forever. There's always a divide. You see, while the rich are always, the billionaires are there, they are literally sucking the money from you, basically. End of the day, they're the ones up top there. They're providing you with services that you subscribe to. Buying their products, for instance. Buying, I don't know, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney, all those products, all those subscriptions as well. Buying their cars, their Teslas, maybe not today, but they've done in the past. Making them all richer. And what they do with the money? Well, they just sit on it. They're just cash extractors, and they just sit on the money and then put it somewhere else. Maybe they'll invest in something somewhere else. Very rarely in your own country. So the money doesn't circulate. And then it doesn't. The trickle-down economy then doesn't work because they're too greedy. They're all too greedy. These multi-billionaires are literally bleeding you dry. They really are. All of us. It's not just in the United States, it's not just in the UK, it's here in France, it's everywhere. Wherever there are billionaires, they are literally finding something else to do with that money. Now, the thing is, you really notice that when you have no growth. When your growth is low, you don't see the new fresh money coming in to boost up the GDP. So then you don't notice the cash extraction. You're just hanging on, aren't you? You're just another one of the plebs, just hanging on. You don't necessarily notice it. But when you've got no GDP, no growth, all of a sudden you find that there's no money to be spent in social services, stuff that you might need. Or potholes, for instance. So yeah, the rich just get richer. They just get richer. And everybody suffers. What we need is a revolution. Not just a civil war, we need a revolution. We need to build a Bastille, and have a Bastille Day. Off with their heads! That's what we need to do. We need to gather up all the rich people who are literally destroying the world and chop off their heads. Or mince them, make them into pies. Is that your gay love grotto? Yes, it is my gay love grotto. Would you like to join me in my gay love? No. I'm a married man with 6 kids, so the idea of me being gay is no. It's not my thing. Got no problem with it, but it's not my thing. I've never met the right man, you see. Oh, yeah, Margaret, oh my God, aren't they just... Oh my God, just... The level of crazy going on there is just... Cognitive dissonance is strong in those ones, that it is. There we go. Going up. What have I missed? Blimey, 2 years, Alistair. That's gone quick, isn't it? It's a cult. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, isn't it? It's a cult. Yeah, a regime. Personally, I would vote Green or Lib Dems, but it's completely it is a wasted vote. Obviously that's why a lot of people voted for the Labour Party, because it's what get the Conservatives out. And now they're a bit disappointed, to say the least. Keir Starmer's made some massive mistakes. He didn't read the room properly, did he? And Nigel Farage he's reaping the rewards of that. But is he the Messiah? Is he green? The grass is green on the other side? No, he is not. Nigel Farage is just another grifter. you're a protest person. Great, stay far away from this channel as possible. That's up to you. I don't care, do I? You know? Protests give the people the say. Just because you don't like what they have to say, well, then that's tough tea, and it's their right to protest. The First Amendment right. You've got a constitution, you know what? You're against the constitution as well, then. Oh, hello, a Canadian. Brock McIntosh. Elbows up to all the Canadians that might be in the chat. Oh my god, I don't know what that says. Some probably Russian. Probably Russian. Is that Russian propaganda? If you're from the USA, you need to learn about what your tyrant is doing. If you're from the you need to. You actually I'll tell you what you need to do. If you're in the United States, have a look what other countries are saying and other newspapers are saying. Like, for instance, in Germany, you know, the Spiegel and stuff like that, what they're saying about Donald Trump. You know, how the United States and Donald Trump's regime, how it is viewed by the world. And I'll give you an idea of why we do not want to trade with you anymore. And we're looking for alternative solutions. Now, don't get me wrong, we can't do it 100%. In most places, even Canada can't necessarily do it 100%, but they'll try, you know. But we can reduce it. We can reduce our trading with the United States. We just can. And same with the United Kingdom, and any country that is saying, I don't know if I want you to do with that. You know, there's so many businesses that have tried to ship stuff to the United States and got caught out. And all of a sudden, the money that they have actually been paid for products is no longer covering the cost of the tariffs. Well, not no longer, because the tariffs weren't there in the first place. You know, when they made the orders, the tariffs weren't there. And they got caught out. It's put so many businesses under. We'll trade with Russia instead. Well, some countries already are, you know. South Korea, buying all its grain now instead of from the United States. Used to get most of its grain from the US, from places like Idaho, Nebraska, and Kansas. Now it's getting it from Russia. From Russia. And Eastern European countries such as Ukraine as well. The breadbasket of the world. Iran has been acting up for years, and they have had this coming for a very long time. I disagree that they've been acting up, but do you really want to do you really want to go to war? Because this could potentially turn very nasty. Jewish propaganda. A lot of it is. You think what Netanyahu's been saying for the last 20 odd years? No, about 30 odd years actually, if not longer. Iran has always been a few weeks or months away from getting them what they need regarding uranium, refining uranium to build missiles. It's always in 2 weeks, or it's always in 2 months or 3 months, or, you know, very close. They're just around the corner. How many times has he said that? 20 times, 30 times? I mean, publicly. Again and again and again. Is it true? We will never know. We won't know. Yeah, Iraq did well, didn't it? You know, weapons of mass destruction. We found loads over there, didn't we? Peace through bombs. The peace president. Yeah. Oh, it's just... This war was between Israel and the United States, and Iran. Well, obviously Gaza and whatever. The US has been involved with this for a very long time. They've been supplying the bloody missiles, you know, and the intelligence. So this is just the next stage in their involvement. Just says Trump made the right call, did he? But you would say that, wouldn't you? You know, even though you probably voted for him because he's the so-called peace president. The thing is, you see, you could argue that they've got the ability to build these. They've now got the uranium, right? They need to build these missiles, right? How long is that going to take? What about the testing and all that sort of stuff? Well, quite frankly, you could have bombed them when you saw the bloody missiles coming out of the ground. You know, poking their little heads out and the little shutters on the tops. But no, this has got nothing to do with peace. Nothing. This is all to do with, as Steve Bannon said, flooding the zone. Flooding the zone. And that's what he's doing. He's flooding the zone with so much bloody information. There's not enough space in the news arena to be able to cover everything that's going on. It takes away the heat from regarding what's going on with the ice, because that's not going well at the moment. There's a lot of, obviously, the protests as well. This is all a big distraction. It's just another dead cat for Donald Trump. This is not the way to do it. It can be worse if no one does anything. But when? It didn't need to be now. We don't even know if there is. We don't even know if there is. Why couldn't we waited until we do have information? If it was so easy to do this bombing raid, which they have actually been planning for some time. This isn't just, oh yeah, we're going to do a bombing raid. This is a plan that's been there on the cards. It's just had, it just needed the go ahead. They could have done this in the future when they knew or could even see what was going on. They weren't building the fucking bombs down there. When you start seeing with your satellites and God knows what else, there's, obvious bunkers going in for missile launching. Then do it. Even North Korea's had to do tests. They've now got their ballistics. What happened there? Did Trump do anything then? You see, why didn't he do it in his first term then? With North Korea? No. He went over there and ate cake with them or some shit like that. Or was it China? I think we're at the stage of warfare and we'd approve unmanned drones, tanks, etc. due to the people not wanting to go. That could happen, couldn't it? That technology is still relatively young, though. The most successful drones, obviously these Iranian drones, they're the most successful ones. But also, there is a limited amount of stuff to make them out of. If you, for instance, if you can stop China from making the Rotax type engines that they've been fitting to these things, which you can buy on AliExpress, you can buy jets. The jet engines that have been used for some of these drones are jet-powered ones. You can buy it on the engines on AliExpress for 15 grand. So they're all complicit. They know what they've been used for. When someone's buying, 100 of these little jet engines or more, thousands of them even, you know what they've been used for. So they're all complicit. Trump is the basket of the world. He's certainly a basket case, isn't he? I'm losing my voice now. Jesus Christ, Lord, says Lee Montgomery, yes. What flavour is that? Oh, that's peach. This is the only president that wants America first. You're in a world economy, mate. There is no America first. No. Not if you want to trade with the world. It's just nuts. It's such an insular view. Soldiers no longer win your wars. Well, certainly don't help your people, does it? If you look at what Ukraine has managed to achieve with their drones, it's pretty damn impressive. And they're leading in the technology. They really are. But a lot of this stuff is all imported from China still. Through certain routes, the controllers and stuff. Even those drones and stuff, the ones that they've been building themselves, they've got a controlling board with the GPS and stuff, they're all built in. And then you've got the fibre optic drones as well. It's not about nukes, it's about Iran being weak right now. For Netanyahu, probably. For Israel. I do wonder sometimes what the majority of the Israelis actually think about what's going on. How many of them actually really support this? How many of them are happy to see children being pulled out of buildings, babies being killed? Oh, it was 96 was he started saying that. I thought it was 95, around that sort of era. So that's when he first went to Congress. Oh, I see. That's when he first started saying about Iran and the nuclear enrichment. We won, cheers, mate. What's that mean? What have you won? Let me know what you've won. Are you any better off? No one's better off. Just like the farmers are not better off. In fact, they're committing suicide because they can't afford to pay the bills. Their businesses have gone under because of Donald Trump. Oh dear me. Oh, you know nothing about me. You can go. Goodbye. If you're going to make a comment on the channel, make sure it's a comment that's is actually adding something for other people in the chat. Otherwise, I will just get rid of you. Sorry, but I'm not having people in bitchy. This can be a friendly place. We can have a different opinion, that's fair enough. That's not a problem. Strange how there's years of video proof, is there? Well, Tommy Tem names. Yeah, just send over for Tommy Robinson. The Escalation. He'll mend the rift, I'm sure he will. Oh, they've let him out now, haven't they? He's a good behaviour. Holy maggot! Nuts in your feed. Oh, is there? Great, as we don't have enough lovers. We get a bit of that. You're going to get a bit of that. Some people are just going to have different opinions. Some people are just stupid. It's done, and there's nothing anyone could do about it. I know, I realise that, but let me think. Where is it going to head? What is going to happen now? What was the plan? What is the plan? Because Donald Trump doesn't have plans. He wakes up and has a new one every day. This is all about distraction for Donald Trump. It's all about politics. It's all about does this help me politically? Because things are looking pretty shit. As far as he considers, as far as he considers, yes, it does. Or he's been advised. It's probably Stephen Miller's probably advised him. That little fascist bastard. Penis head. The Americans have the strongest military in the world. As bigly it is, as bigly they probably. Yes, they do. Are you a warmonger? Is that why you got the strongest military? Is it for defence, or is it just so you can attack other countries and say there's the WMDs? And then take their oil. Or for Donald Trump and have Gaza, it would be the Plaza. Hello, Gingers. Hope you're well. I didn't see you there. Oh, thank Jack Noise. There you go a bit here. The Iranian crisis has been happening for 45 years. There's always an Iranian crisis. It's none of our business, though, what's going on in Iran. They've been doing it for 45 years. They haven't attacked you yet. Iran has not caused or started a war for over 200 years. They might have been involved as a proxy, like, for instance, they're pretty much, they are. There's no argument that they're state sponsors of terrorism and war. We know that. Look what's going on regarding, the first ones to, well, they started supplying Russia with the drones, didn't they, to attack Ukraine. And then they gave the Russia the permission and all the plans so they could start building them themselves. I'm so sorry. I live in a country run by a buffoon. I can't disagree. Gingers, I can't disagree. I advocate for a stronger Iran. I advocate an Iran run by the women. Right? That's what I want to see. Iran. I want the worm to turn. I want the women to take control. Yes, and all the men to wear buckets on their heads. Make me president of the United States. I would fix it all, I would. I can't because I wasn't born there. Everybody needs to come out and protest, yeah. They will. They will. I was watching a little video clip yesterday. Come in my feed. I think it was on Hawk podcast, actually. He shared it. And there's a guy out there going about these protests regarding the No Kings protest. Oh, it's a failure and all that. Only 5 million people turned up, blah, 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 blah. And it was funded by George Soros. Oh, I thought, as soon as you said George Soros, I thought, you bloody idiot. It was always George Soros, isn't it? That man's because he's got infinite funds, he has. Infinite funds. No, people who protest got up one more. There's a protest on today. They said, "Well, we're going to protest," or they said tomorrow we're going to protest, or next week we're going to protest, and they did. They knew when there was coordination regarding when it was going to be, and they got involved. They didn't need money. They just made their placards and protested. Wasn't Donald Trump supposed to shrink the deficit? Yeah. Though he hasn't, has he? Because all that's happened is backfired. Tariffs are backfired. We're buying less from the United States, not more. It's crazy. And now he's going to increase spending, borrowing by another like 3 trillion. That's just nuts. How is he going to fund this war? Well, he's going to fund the war with more cuts. That's what he'll do. If you're going to comment in the chat, please make sure it's in a language that everybody understands. Otherwise, I will have to remove. Because I don't know what you said. As far as it might be propaganda. I'm not interested in stupid propaganda. We can have a debate. That's fine. What if you don't like what you hear? Well, I'm sure there's lots of stuff I don't like that I hear all the time. It's a bit. We're all going to have different sort of opinions, as long as those opinions are based on either some sort of knowledge or fact. Just anything that I say, all right, I suggest to you that you fact check it, okay? Not because I don't believe what I'm saying, but because, just instill some confidence in yourselves. Make sure that what you're hearing is real, and that's the same should apply to everybody. It makes it a palaver, it makes it aggravation. But I'll tell you something I won't do to you. I will not lie to you. Because no. I've been lied to all my bloody life, and I've made that promise to myself that I will not lie. I don't lie to the missus, I don't lie to anybody, and I don't like it sometimes. I'm forthright on that. I'd rather not say anything at all. I'll make mistakes, like many people do. Maybe I got my information wrong or something. But I do my best to try and make sure that I'm not spreading bloody lies and propaganda. But like I say, we all make mistakes, don't we? like vote for Donald Trump. So what if you don't like what you hear? That's a fair point, you know. Well, then you need to. Let's say, for instance, if you sincerely believe in Donald Trump, you need to fight for it. You know, if that's what you believe in. As long as what you believe, as long as your goal is, maybe it's not particularly pleasant, but that's your goal. That's what you want. If that's what you believe in, you're going to do what you believe in. I don't like it, obviously. I wish you kind of, you know, be a little bit more open to other people, you know. It's like when people say, "Oh, yeah, too woke." Oh, good, thank you. Yeah, it's a compliment. You know, I don't want to be that person who's considered as somebody who'd be wanting to do harm to others. I want to be somebody who is aware of other people's feelings or emotions or their life, their condition of life, or you know, stuff that's thrown at them. I want to be aware of that stuff. If I'm not aware of it, how can I do anything about it? How can I help anybody? You know? Now, I'll tell you something about me. I'm a woodworker, right? And I have a lot of tools for which I've collected over a very long period of time. What film's that from? And I don't lend them out. No. Unless they're attached to my hands. I do not lend my tools out. For good reason. Because they never come back in the condition that I sent them. Because people don't know how to use your tools like you do. So, but I will give my time. I will help people. But for me, this is how I'm built, and that's what I do. I've been let down so many times in the past. I don't make those mistakes often. Not repeatedly, anyway. I have people who vote for Donald Trump. They voted for Donald Trump back in 2015, 2016, whenever it was, and then they realised that he was shit, and then they voted for him again. Voting for something against your best interests is just madness. In fact, making the same mistake again and again and again is the definition of an idiot. It really is. There we come. Don't forget to boop the old like button. Boop boop. Hello, Evardadro. Hello there. God damn it. Here comes a maggot. A trash. You're going to get them. You're going to get them. They're gullible. I'll just hope they come round, you know. There'll be some there on the verge, you know, those who voted for Donald Trump who are feeling very disappointed at the moment, and maybe they feel that they've been lied to. But, you know, these people could come round, the floating voters and all that, you know. But those who are literally a part of the cult, indoctrinated, they like to do harm to others. They're happy to see others get hurt. They like to see ICE do what they do. Well, those people are lost. You're never going to bring them back. It'll be very difficult to, you know. If you did, it'll be a very small proportion. Trump totally said that. Hold my diapers. Oh my God! It was that Carol. Who said that in the courts? He kept farting. SPDs, silent but deadlies. It's not a difference of opinion if you think certain people shouldn't exist. Well, there's still an opinion, isn't it, though? But if people shouldn't exist, well, you talk about eradication and you talk about genocide, because that's what Netanyahu is doing in Israel. That's genocide, what's going on in Gaza. It's plain and simple, it's genocide. And you can say the same about the Iranian people as well. That's what some Western cultures believe about Iran. They shouldn't exist. And that's what they think about us. But if we're constantly going to be at loggerheads instead of agreeing to disagree, well, then we're going to be in the same position every single time, aren't we? Because it's going to be coming back, right back round again. Same problem. You think you solved it? No, you haven't. All you've done is create the next generation of terrorists. That's all we're doing. Madness. If you've seen your family murdered, bombed, sent away, what are you going to do? Yeah, how are you going to feel as you grow up? What is going to be your goal? do pain on others, isn't it? There's going to be a lot of resentment there. Hatred towards us. All you need is love. Do, 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 do. Oh dear. If you fight for that, you're the bad guy. Just admit that you're the bad guy, not specifically just people. If you're, think certain people should always say, yeah. MAGA. Oh, no. No, not MAGA. Oh. Am I defending Iran? No, bloody I'm not defending Iran. It's a horrendous regime. I've already said I want a regime change, but I want the women to do it. Just saying that, it should be the Americans do it. No. Just saying it should be the Israelis do it. No. It should be the Iranians. We could give them what they need to stand up against the regime and get involved that way. It should be the women. The Iranian women need to stand. They're the ones being suppressed by the men. But no, I'm not defending Iran. That's not about defending Iran. It's about my point is that Donald Trump is going to send people to war and they're going to die. And ordinary people who literally just cannot get by, they're struggling just to survive, are going to get killed. Look what's going on in Ukraine, for instance. Look what's going on in Gaza. Ordinary families who are already struggling are getting bombed. They're not the ones picking up the guns. They're not the ones causing any problems for the United States. Well, not anyway, but no. Oh, you're so delusional, says Darren. Okay, if that's your feel I'm delusional. No, you've just basically followed Donald Trump, and he's done a 180, and so have you. If you're defending Donald Trump, that's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The man's an idiot. It's 5 a.m. there, crikey. Now it's time for me is now 12 o'clock, 10 past 12 here in South Central France, because that's where I am. Watching in what the madness that is going on across the world and in the United States. Be very interesting to see what the responses are going to be from other world leaders. They're going to call for calm, I imagine. They're going to say, some are going to say, no, we're not getting involved. It's also going to cause some problems regarding selling, but they're going to sell the dollar. You're going to get more investments in munitions because they're going to be selling more of those, so people won't invest in that. Do I think it could lead to World War III? Depends how it escalates, doesn't it? It's very early days as yet. I think really would, if China gets involved, yes. But China notoriously has they kind of sit on the fence and then just, send stuff over. We can make some money at this, can't we? But generally speaking, they don't get involved. What you got to remember, China is, you see, their economy is built on the West's money. They've used other people's money to build their own economy, and we've allowed it to happen. We complain about it, but we've allowed it to happen. We keep buying their stuff. The quickest way to cause China problems is to stop buying their stuff. And you can argue the tariffs have helped with that. But then again, you can't do it as a cold shock. At the end of the day, a cold hard shock, you have to think about your own economy as well. I don't think it would at this stage now, but I think we are heading that way. I think we are. Is Russia going to retaliate with this? No, they've got their hands full. And no, woke isn't a compliment, mate. You don't. Okay, Lewis Metcalf. What does woke mean? What is the definition of woke? If you're not woke, you don't love your children. If you're not woke, you don't love your parents. You're not aware of them. You don't care about them. Plain and simple. Social awareness, ethical awareness is about people around you. You're all immigrants, remember that. You stole the lands in the United States. You stole the lands. Empathy and compassion are human. Those that do not possess critical thinking skills are simply not human. What? Yeah, no World War III, please. I don't think we're heading that way. Well, not yet. No. You see, all the countries that we're saying that we could end up a war with are all very reliant on Western trade. You know, how would they end up funding their wars? Look at the damage, like, for instance, all these sanctions have done. They have done damage. Not enough damage to Russia, for instance, but they've done a lot of damage. And that's going to get tougher for Russia. Russia's running out of money. Quickly, they talk about selling up assets now to fund the war. Woke equals a decent human being. We shouldn't want harm to others. I don't want harm to MAGA. Maybe put them in. I don't know, actually. Can we just mince them? Can we make... I'll tell you what. I'm a very moral man. Mince the MAGA, make them into pies, and feed the poor. We could have MAGA soup, MAGA pies of kitchens all over the place, feeding the poor. The homeless. That'll work, won't it? That's been decent, isn't it? It's a mixture of wokeness, sort of. Woke means educated and empathetic. Yes, it does. It's not an insult. I know they think it's an insult, but it's not an insult at all. Why wouldn't you want to be empathetic to others? The others are your family. Your own children. They are others. They might be in your little clan, but they're still others. They're not you, are they? So they're others. Well, this is just this guy liking to listen to his own advice. Not a healthy debate. Well, debate me then. I could call out a bunch of things the last administration did. I'm sure you can. I'm sure the last administration did a lot of stupid stuff. But this one, oh my giddy aunt. Morons that they are. This administration is literally Stephen Miller and his penis head. That's who it is. so I just debated you. They always this kind of attack. This sort of thing doesn't bother me. I'm too long in the tooth to care about what other people think of me. Seriously, too long in the tooth. I've had my fair innings of scraps and fights, and God knows what over the years. And I don't give a damn anymore about that kind of stuff. What I do care about is whether or not people can make ends meet, whether or not they can survive and feed their families, the environment. I care about wildlife, animals, you name it, that kind of thing. Normal type of stuff. Stuff that we used to care about years ago, about survival. When people used to realise, understand that what we have to take, when we take something, we have to put something back. Not just keep taking, destroying absolutely everything. That's greed. That makes no sense at all for survival. If I grow my plants in the garden, for which we eat, I know full well I've got to put something back. It's just how it is. And we're planting shitloads of trees here. We're doing the rewilding here. You might not know those links. There'll be links down below. We're doing a rewilding project here for the animals, the birds, and stuff like that. And we have encouraged them back to this piece of land that we've got. You know, we've designated 2 hectares of our land to trees and wildlife. And it's working. And we're very proud of that. Is that woke? I suppose it is in a way. Do I care? No, I don't care if it's woke or not. Well, do I? Yeah, I suppose I do. In some ways, because at the end of the day, it's a compliment. You think it's not, but it is. These people are just nuts. The Iranian people and the Iranian regime are different, definitely. No, definitely. The regime is just another cult, just like Donald Trump. There's no difference there. They're both tyrannical. And the people, who aren't the ones with all the guns and the power and God knows what else, they are... Well, they have got the power, but they've got to stand up against the regime. And when they know they're going to get shot, have their heads chopped off, they're being controlled with fear. They're frightened to stand up against it. You're in prison for not wearing your hijab or whatever it might be. Your burqa. Showing your hair. You can end up in prison. It's just nuts. It's only recently women have been allowed to actually learn to drive. That's what I say, well, the women to stand up against this regime. You need women in politics. It's really important. After all, they are a large proportion of your population. What is it about people that say, "Oh, women shouldn't be in politics"? That's bollocks. Of course, they bloody well should. The same people saying that reckon that Margaret Thatcher was a marvellous prime minister, which she wasn't, but it's nuts. Those who care about women would not vote for, or will not vote for, a rapist. So all those MAGA lot, they don't give a shit about women. They voted for a rapist. Adjudicated felon. A rapist. Sex offender. Oh, what have we got down there? Hello there. Plasma Owl. Hello, Plasma Owl. Having seen how powerful Trump derangement syndrome can be, look it up. You should probably see a psychiatrist, says Plasma Owl. He's the one who's deranged. He's suffering very badly with Trump. Thanks for the super chat, though, to tell me that. That's brilliant. He's definitely the one with Trump derangement syndrome, is Donald Trump. Oh, I'm judging Donald Trump not on who he is. I'm judging him on his actions. And he ain't good. The man was bragging about grabbing him by the pussy, he was. Grabbing him by the pussy, and yet they voted for him. Is this what you stand for? Do you stand for rapists? Are you happy to vote for a rapist? Are you happy to vote for a man that is in the Jeffrey Epstein files? There's plenty of images and photos, what have you, of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein. Back in 2015 or 2016 or something, when Ghislaine Maxwell said that Jeffrey Epstein's got videos of Donald Trump with children. He has got a whole string of negative stories about himself. How he used to beat his wife up just because she advised on a particular doctor for his scalp reduction. And he beat her up because he was in pain. He's a nasty, horrible, vindictive man. Evil piece of work is Donald Trump. Is it Donald Trump derangement? Something deranged about thinking that women shouldn't be beaten up, is there? Isn't deranged about thinking that children shouldn't be molested, isn't there? No, the man is evil. He's evil incarnate. There is so much evidence out there that people don't seem to want to pay any attention to. Some of it's circumstantial, some of it can be proven, but nobody seems to want to do anything about it. It's madness. Absolute madness. But thanks for the super chat. Are you referring to me, Liquid? Woke doesn't mean that at all. You don't know what woke means. Woke was an original, as a black term. About social and ethical awareness, being aware of others. Look up the definition. It's in the dictionary, for Christ's sake. It's been weaponised. It's been weaponised by the right, and it means doesn't even. It's a bit like that. Oh crikey, that cartoon character. I can't remember what it's called now. But some cat or something. Looks a bit vicious. This cartoon character, but it's not even what the cartoon character originally stood for. And the MAGA lot have literally, that these like Proud Boy types have weaponised it. Just like you jumped for joy every time they tried to hem Trump up. Not sure what that means. I've got a few MAGA here, haven't I? That's pretty cool. Oh, dear. So Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill would pardon another free... Oh, free... Oh, my God, that's gone. That was 2.7. Now it's gone to 3.8 trillion. Oh, yeah, I did read that. Yeah, it's been reassessed, hasn't it? Yeah, 3.8 trillion to the mountain of debt. The man who said he wants to bring down the debt. Well, there's been a interview with a recent Doge geezer lad in his 20s who was fired from Doge because he'd basically found something that was a little bit, how to put it, untoward. And it's, it was just a crock of shit. So Doge is going to disappear eventually. It's literally been pushed to the back shelf now because it hasn't worked. It's just caused a shitload of damage. Woke means open-minded. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, being aware. God, yeah, that is going to be bad. You've got to pay the debt on that. You've got to pay the interest on that debt. So that's just common sense then. Yeah, you know that what they say, it's not common. The thing about common sense, it's no longer common, unfortunately. There's a practical man who makes stuff out of wood. Things have to fit together. It's kind of my analogy. And I make a joint, it needs to fit. And that, to me, that's common sense, If I make two pieces of wood, I want to join them together, they've got to be straight and true. Otherwise, they're not going to join together. That's just common sense for me. But that also comes with... Common sense comes with knowledge and also skills as well, and the ability to apply those skills. And yes, I do have a degree, all right? I've got a degree. I've been to college and university, and I got myself a degree. It's not in woodworking, though. It's actually photography. But you still have to learn about lateral thinking, about semiotics, iconics. There's a whole lot of shitload of stuff, and that opens your mind. And that's one of the positive things about going to university or college. It's not just about the course that you're actually training, doing, whatever qualification it might be. It's about learning how to learn. It really is. Open-mindedness, because it provides you it helps you with lateral thinking, like nuances and stuff like that. If you do something over here, you think, so okay, what does it affect over there somewhere? Do you know what I mean? What are the consequences of my actions? And that's what we need to think about. It can't be just about this little bubble. We do this one thing and that's just that one thing. No. Life is not like that. It really is not. Trump has a leaky butt. He's constantly browning his drawers. Usually when he's swinging at golf, isn't it? And he's always farting. He's, oh, dear me. Oh, we've got a lot of MAGA. Oh, giddy on. There's a lot of MAGA here, isn't there? Oh, what have I missed? What have I missed there? That was that one. There we go. Blimey, there's a lot of comments there. Can we come? Then we get Terry says, screaming war hog. They have plenty of courage. They just don't have the loud mouths like you. Screaming, war hog. Oh, I see. Are you Rosie? Oh my God. Are you in a fallout shelter? Yes. This is my fallout. This is my bunker. I need to build a bunker now. That's what I need to do. My next set for my channel, I'm going to build a bunker. I'm going to have my very own little bunker bomb on the wall. Oh dear. No, this room here, I use this when I do my 6 second woodworking videos, my short videos. I've also got my little lab through there as well, where I've got my lasers and stuff. Over here is my actual workshop, and then I've got my workshop processing area for wood and stuff on that side of that wall, behind you. So, yeah. Oh dear. That's not quite a fallout shelter, it's made of wood. Oh dear, I was crikey. Oh, Doge is pronounced douche bag. Yeah. Like bucket. It's pronounced bouquet. Fucking bucket. Oh crikey. Jago, polish your huge belt buckle, Huckleberry. Whoa, we are 1 trillion in annual interest debt alone. Whoa. Whoa. That's not great. Yeah. You're at more risk of monkeypox from your boyfriend. What? Oh. In Canada, they ask, where's the Kentucky bourbon at? Sorry, it's not sold there. Yes, the Canadian boycott of American products. It's a sight to behold, it is. Watching them at the beginning of this aggression from the United States, because that's exactly what it is. Threatening to make Canada a 51st state. And watching the Canadians literally in their stores, grabbing hold of all the Jack Daniels and putting it into boxes to pack, send it away. It's damaged the US's economy big time. It really has. And now Canadian wine, they're struggling. And obviously the farmers. So why do I care about American politics? How many times have I got to say this? When the United States sneezes, we all catch a cold. Plain and simple. We are in a world economy. If you don't like that, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. We are in a world economy. So I find it very interesting. I feel that I've learned a lot recently. I used to talk a lot about British politics and the Brexit and stuff. And it seems to somehow evolved into American politics because the madness is setting in, or has set in. Now we've got the madness of the Brexit in the UK and the reform voters and these crazy nutcases, and you've got your MAGA. So yeah, I find it interesting, and I've got something to say, and also I think it's quite interesting to know what other people are saying about you as well, isn't it? You know, if you read other papers and that as well, not just your own. Will give you an understanding from other countries such as Germany or France. It'll give you an understanding of how other countries are behaving towards the United States. You know, you might see it as an attack. We see it as a defence because we are literally boycotting you like mad. We really are. Even the governments are literally they are applying what they need to avoid trade with the United States because we don't know where we are with you. So we're trying to soften the blow and stuff we can't deal with at the moment. But we are looking for new markets. Just like Canada is looking for new markets. And new allies. You know? We don't see the United States as a safe bet anymore. And the MAGA have been quite clear about how they feel about it as well. About NATO and that, when they have no idea or any inclination about how funding for NATO is... mate, the funding is for your own munitions. That percentage of all GDP has just been used to bomb Iran. It's not just that. Monies that the veterans get, veteran care and all that. The United States is the only country within NATO that actually uses that money to boost up its own, to make it look like they're spending more on their munitions, on their defence. Oh, there we come. No one cares what little old Brits think. See, that's the same old MAGA response. Uneducated response. No debate. Just, we don't care what you think. It's like you're throwing your flipping toys out your pram. That's just childish. Just childish. It's not surprising though, because you voted for Petulant Child. So, there you go. A little Cheeto Bandito. Oh, my little Trump baby. Oh, dear. Everyone from any country should pay close attention to US politics, exactly, because when the US takes any kind of action, it has global consequences. That's an adult response. Let's have more of that. Maybe we can have those sort of comments from MAGA. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. I just saw a bit of tumbleweed come past. Free Iran from the Supreme Leader. I'm not arguing about that. If anything positive comes from the US's involvement, I would hope that is a success. I would hope that's a success. I'm worrying that innocent people are going to get killed. That's what I worry about.
You've got a warning, your stream is going to be shut down.
What's that?
This is about something activity. Let's have a look. That's on the messages.
It's in the messages?
Yeah. I don't know if it's YouTube or whether it's someone listening.
Oh, it's just somebody's just talking rubbish.
They wouldn't see the messages, would they?
No, I'm still live.
Sorry,
It's just MAGA people not happy with what I'm saying. I've got a lot of MAGA people in the stream. Oh, hello, hope you well.
Do you need anything?
I wouldn't want another coffee, darling.
Coffee? Shall I take those?
But there, boy, I'm married, you see. I've got a wife. How many children we got, darling? How many times have we got jiggy with it?
I've got 6.
We've got 6 kids.
And 11 grandchildren.
And 11 grandchildren. Oh, but we're contributed.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna make you.
Is this a bunker, Caroline? Is this my mother's bedroom?
I'm gonna make you coffee.
My mother's back bedroom.
I'm gonna make you coffee.
Okay. Put it down. I've just been informed that my stream is going to get shut down. It's just MAGA being stupid in the comments. Yeah, MAGA needs to read first. That's not everybody. Let's be honest. Some of the people who have supported Donald Trump, some of them are educated people. They just got wrong ideas. Blight says, I don't disagree with the attack on Iran. The country is a problem. I didn't vote for Trump. I voted Democrat because they would have continued the correct path of US global politics, yes. That's the same thing. I don't disagree with if it's a positive outcome. But I'm worried that innocent people, like I said a million times, innocent people are going to be drawn into this, including Americans. You know, they're not just, Americans aren't just in the United States, remember, they're everywhere, you know, and they're going to get attacked. There's even Americans living in Iran. What you're saying doesn't affect me, laugh out loud. I don't care what you say when it comes down to the truth. I'm not lying to you, I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, some of it might be opinion driven. Or how my feelings, even sentiment. But, you know, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to maliciously lie to anybody. Because there's no point. People who lie, just like Donald Trump, always get caught out. There's always a tweet. There's always a reference somewhere of something you have said. Just like Tulsi Gabbard 2 months ago saying that there's no enrichment of uranium in Iran, and yesterday she come out and said that there was. Because she was told to. That's just lying. Outright lying. Oh dear, my battery's gonna go. Oh, my battery's gonna go. Okay, I got my lead. Hopefully it doesn't affect the sound. It possibly could. Don't forget to boop the old like button. If you like what you hear, if you don't, boop it anyway. And if you will make sure I read your comment, there is the super chat as well. It doesn't have to be big money, does it? Just, you know, There we go, there's a pod in there. Hopefully the audio's still okay. Sometimes these cables don't have grounding in them, so they affect the RF frequencies.
Look, coffee is coming, but that's the message.
Oh, she's found the message.
It says she's coming.
Oh, she's found the message. No, that's not YouTube tech support. That's just, yeah. Urgent notice. No, that's just, your account has been flagged for suspicious activity. Urgent notice. The stream will be shut down immediately and you're temporarily banned pending review. Please contact support about the strike. No, it's not a strike because I'm still alive. No, it's just daft. No, that's daft. I can always look at my YouTube studio and that'll tell me. Let's see whether or not I've got a strike. That'll tell me. Also, I'll have an email as well. There we go. No strike there. No. I've been told I've got my bills come through for me Orange Internet. There's no strike there. Amazon are trying to sell me stuff. No, I don't want anything from Amazon. No, loads of YouTube comments. Yeah. No strikes there. No. That's just somebody being an idiot. It wouldn't be in the blatant chat anyway.
No, all right. I don't know.
I know. It's people trying to frighten you. They're trying to frighten me. They think I'm stupid. I'm not MAGA, right? They've got that pre-prepared. They've got an account with that on it, and they just used it. That's all it is. No. Let's have a look on YouTube Studio. See whether or not I've got a strike on there. Go into content, dashboard. No, nothing there. No strikes there. And besides, I'm still live. No. So there you go. You do get them, don't you? You get some sad individuals doing what they can to try to frighten you. I haven't said or done anything that warrants a strike, so there you go. I disagree, says Gremlin. Okay. I love a coffee too. You want a coffee too? I've got my coffee. I have. It's got my creamer. Yeah. I've got to have your coffee, you know. Oh, it's a good coffee. I hope your coffee is as good as mine. Who says that? She's white. You're white. You're both the opposite class. I don't give a shit about colour, honestly. My grandchildren are black. You know, I've got 4 black grandchildren. Do I look at them any different? No, I really don't. In fact, I love them to bits. In fact, they will be here very soon, because I'm here in France, you said, visiting us in the next couple of weeks. And they will be in my streams. Because Mother doesn't mind that sort of thing. She's involved in, that as well. And they are funny as well. Hilarious kids. Father's Nigerian. I ain't got a problem what colour skin you are. I don't got a problem where you're from. Right? I judge people on who they are, not what they are. If you're an arsehole, I'll call you an arsehole. If you'd have been suckling onto old Donald Trump's chocolate starfish, or you're one of the wannabes who probably got an effigy of Donald Trump's chocolate starfish, well then I'll say you were an horrible person. I will. Yes. How many times has Donald Trump has been attacked? You've been horrible. When someone's asked him a question, and he said, that's a horrible, nasty question it is. Oh, God's sake, the man's a flipping nightmare. Think about the taxpayers' money. Oh my God, that is certainly going to be gobbled up. It's got to be funded, you see. Wars always have to be funded. Kamala Harris was way scarier than Trump. How? For a start, she has an education. Donald Trump's education he was a low attainer. All she's ever done is try to help people. You know? Help people get houses and all sorts of shit she's done in the past. It's just ridiculous. It's just crazy people weaponising those who... What is it about the people who go on about being hard by they're not looking after me? And then what they do, they then support the billionaires that put them in the shit place in the first place. That is just weapons grade lunacy. It really is. You support? Oh, I support Elon Musk. He's such a great guy. Yeah, is he? Really? I look like an elderly Stewie Griffin, apparently. Oh, dear. Como Israel is the issue. Well, Israel isn't. Israel is an issue. You know. Or its leadership is a massive, massive issue. It could have been. All this could have been prevented. Screaming, do they have them? They are being bombed as they do. Screaming, do they have them? I don't quite understand what that means. What a cushy lemon. Privileged life. Lemon. A state worker, teacher, sitting fat on a pension now. What? I'm a woodworker. I work with wood. Oh dear. Nicky Valentine says there's some absolute tossers here today. Yeah, that has to be said. There are some MAGA. There you go. I just sensible debate would be quite nice. Like, you get occasional one, but most of them are just silly with troll comments, you know. Hello. How am I looking? You look wonderful, my friend. Wonderful. A veteran here who's glad I don't serve anymore. I'm not surprised. Thought about being shafted by Donald Trump. What a disrespectful man. I send down National Guard to Los Angeles and expect them. Well, don't supply them with any water or anything. They're not even sleep on the hard floors and stuff. You know, they're not at. They're in Los Angeles, for Christ's sake. You should have done better than that. Shouldn't have been there anyway. He shouldn't have been there. Yeah, I understand. Thanks, I'll start him again. Crikey, are you busy? By any chance? Screaming, what is food? He certainly is. The number of tossers have grown exponentially. I tell you what that does, though. When you see these people who have some rather strange ideas or write some rather vicious responses, it instills confidence that we are on the right side of history. But we don't want to be these people. That's what that says to me, I suppose. I don't want to be these people. I don't want to be those who are happy to see people disappeared into a gulag somewhere for the rest of their life. For what? For nothing. For nothing wrong. Now, Kali Mohab, who's Pakistani protester in the US, who's they returned him, you know. Then you got Briga Garcia. Another one is just, you know, he's been returned, but he's not with his family at the moment. They're trying to criminalise him. Unfortunately, innocent people die every day. It's a shame, but Iran has hurt plenty of innocent people without our or Israelis' involvement. I'm sure they have, because they have been. So that's not justify innocent death. You'll say no. Two wrongs don't make a right. Are you a Christian? Yeah. And that's we Wazgangs. That's not fair. Down with the Jews. That is just an uneducated, foolish comment. It really is. Because it isn't about being. No. There's plenty of Jewish people who are dead against what's going on. Dead against. This is all about Netanyahu holding on to power. He's a warmonger. Do I support Iran having nukes? Of course I don't support Iran having nukes. Do I think the United States should have bombed Iran? No, not yet. Not yet. The reason this bombing has nothing at all to do with whether or not there's nukes. No. Just because, let's say for instance you managed to enrich the uranium, yeah, you are closer. There's still a whole load of stages after that, alright, where it'd be obvious that there is a bomb, alright, or that they're developing. At this stage, it's all done in a little tiny place somewhere, and there's no evidence on it. We could have waited. It's all to do with Israel. So no, I don't support this, Do I believe there should be regime change in Iran? Yes, but that's not our place, or the United States' place, to do that. It just isn't. Something like that. Oh, yeah, on charge. Do you really think it matters who our president, who the president is right now? This would have happened in about no. Of course that feckin' matters. That's a stupid, dumbass bloody response. The actions are an evolution of whoever is in, who's in the White House. Ultimately, he's made a decision. He told Tulsi Gabbard to go against what she said a few months ago. Of course, it makes a difference. He's a warmonger. He's not a peace president. That's bollocks. Your own agent says no. I would have agreed if our intelligence could cooperate. Any reason to, yes, because we think so. Isn't a reason, no, it's not. It's not, no, there's no facts there, is there? There's no evidence. Just like there was no WMDs. We all get drawn into it, don't we? And Trump said he didn't care about being told that there's no WMDs. It's got nothing to do with WMDs, is it? It's just got to do about Israel. It's all to do with Israel, and Israel using the United States as a little proxy. You can't prove a double negative, no. That's pretty true. You aren't worried about innocent people. You're just grifting. And that's okay. No, I do care about it. What makes you think I want innocent people to be killed? I see these images of little babies being dragged out of buildings for no reason other than either greed or aggression. Power. No. Are you benefiting from that? Has it done you any good? No. For all this time, you've been, MAGA, for instance, have been complaining because of all this money going to, when Biden was the president, and now as soon as you got a President Trump, you're all for it. The hypocrisy is just astounding. It really is. Anyway, if you want to make sure I see your comments, super chat, I'll make sure I see your comments. Don't have to be much. No. Well, that would make sense that they did remove any enriched uranium. And at the end of the day, the radiation levels did not go up according to the United Nations. So it makes me wonder if there was any there. Because even if they took them out, there'd still be radiation there, I'm sure. Iranian intelligence would know. As soon as they realise that there's a risk, they would have moved it. That is very true. That's not going to be the only place. If that was the case. If there was any, they would have moved it. So, yeah, it's a very good point. It's a fake account? Yeah, probably. I just wish men would accept their dick size. Look at my big missile! It's pointy! Oh dear me. The dude is a doppelganger for Jack Black in Jumanji. Yeah. Oh yeah, the clothes like yeah. I get it. He just needs a safari hat. I've actually got one. I'm a man of many hats. Yeah, they're all live again. Sorry for that. It just went off the second. Then we come. Yeah, there's been a lot of spamming. That's the thing with the when you stream in the short feed, you do get a lot of spammers. But you also get quite a few people as well. Don't forget, beat the old like button. 118 likes. I got 177 people here. Trump wears a diaper. Oh, so it isn't Elon Musk with his hair plugs, Donald Trump with his forehead reduction, and his diaper. Yeah, America's own intelligence, that's what Tulsi Gabbard said until she was told to say otherwise, told them that Iran wasn't close to making a bomb at all, no. Americans are the type of people who grow marijuana indoors just to complain about power outages or fires created by them. Oh dear. Oh, it is funny. Oh dear. If you didn't laugh, you'd fucking well cry, wouldn't you? Now, okay, what is going on in the live feed at the moment? So, there we come. Live updates. Oh, there we go. So Iran warns the United States strikes will have everlasting consequences. One new update. There we go. Iran. Okay. Smoke rises near Iran's Fordo nuclear facility after the US strikes. And they were talking about using tactical nukes for so they wouldn't show whether or not these bunker busters would be able to do the job. But they threw a few extra ones in for good measure. That's not very interesting. Alright, here we go. 5 minutes ago. Reporting from Jordan. Okay. Reporting from Jordan because it's been banned in Israel. You can't report in Israel, we know that already. In terms of missiles, there's no comparison between what Iran is launching and what Hamas has used to launch. And that is why the degree of success of Israel's multi-layered air defense system is very different. It was far easier to intercept locally made rockets from Gaza than it is to intercept the Iranian-made missiles that have extremely different capabilities. There's one of their missiles that was Iranian missiles. Oh crikey, it's supersonic. Mach 15. That's fast. Very, very fast. So their air defences couldn't take it out, apparently. So that explains what has been seen in terms of damage. So Hamas's missiles didn't really cause huge amount of damage because of Israel's defences, but Iranians has. A blast in Israel's Haifa has been caused by interceptor failure. The Israeli military has released a statement on the explosion that took place it's escalated now in Israel as well, of a city of Haifa earlier this morning, despite no air raid warnings sounding there. So nobody knew. Remember, people in Israel don't want this either, It's just powerful people just swinging their sticks, man. During the launches carried out from Iran this morning towards the territory of of the State of Israel. No alert was activated in the city of Haifa. Initial investigation indicates that the fall was detected in the city area, and the possibility of an interceptor failure is being examined. So they had no defence. Malfunctions everywhere. The computer said no. At least 20 people in Israel have been wounded in Iran's latest missile barrage, the Ratz Shiva outlet has reported. I don't know how you pronounce that, so I do apologise. In total, the ongoing conflict with Iran has forced over 10,000 people in Israel to evacuate their homes, according to the outlet. Over 32,000 people have requested government compensation for damage to their homes or property if... they've still got one, have they? Well, FIFA isn't very helpful at the moment, are they? In the US, after Donald Trump pretty much obliterated it. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is sucking up to the US again. The British Prime Minister has spoken out in favour of the US's military action against Iran, saying the attacks alleviated the threat posed by Tehran's nuclear programme. Donald Trump he's literally got Keir Starmer like one of them leech, those fish. Just suck it on Donald Trump's chocolate starfish. Iran can never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon, he said in a post on Earth. This is about timing. It's timing. Whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, this is about timing. They didn't need to do it now. It's all about politics and timing. Iran can never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon, and the situation in the Middle East remains volatile, and it's going to get worse, not better. And the stability in the region is a priority. We call on Iran to return to the negotiation. You just literally backed the United States. So, that's all right. They did a good job. They're bombing you. Yeah. By the way, we want to talk to you. Come on. They don't know what the Iranian people are. They can be brutal. There's going to be more terrorism for a start. There already is. Attacks on US and UK bases. How could Iran respond to the US attacks? According to this article, it says that the director of Middle Eastern Studies at the University of San Francisco about how he sees Iranian response to the US attacks playing out. And this is what he said. They've got a number of options. They can attack US forces directly. There are up to 40,000 Americans within the range, not just of Iranian missiles, but drones and other weaponry. In some ways, it's because it's going to increase the cost of oil, so obviously Russia's going to have more money, but Iran are going to supply less of these shadow drones to Russia, aren't they? Because they keep it for themselves then. They can be vulnerable as well if they attack. It could impact global shipping, yes. Impacting oil prices, yes. And indeed, entire global economy. Well, if you affect the oil prices, or the barrel price, but then obviously it's going to affect everything, isn't it? There's a number of ways that American forces could be vulnerable, and I would be surprised if Iranians don't target at least some of these. There'll be bases, what have you. He also said that Netanyahu's plan all along was to drag the United States into this. Well, they've been dragged into it from day one, really, and they've been supplying Israel with copious amounts of munitions and defence systems as well as missiles. David Phillips, an academic visitor at the Oxford University, says that Netanyahu has succeeded in his goal of dragging the United States into direct military action against Iran. You see, Donald Trump is easy to manipulate. This whole episode was unnecessary, and the US was about to resume diplomacy with Iran. And there was a proposal on the table that would have obviated the need for military action. Nonetheless, the Israeli Prime Minister decided to go ahead, said Phillips, who served as a senior advisor at the US State Department during the Clinton, Bush and Obama administrations. His plan was to drag the United States into the war. And if you think here, Qatar's there, you've got, oh no, if you're sorry, you can't see it. Qatar's there, so obviously a lot of oil comes out of there. And then you've got the Strait here. It's got to get through here. There's Iran. Iran could cause a huge amount of problems here regarding getting the oil through. Really could. My neighbour's looking for a travel trailer made pre-2005 because they were built better, but can't acknowledge everything after Obama is a garbage. Can't acknowledge everything after Obama. See, what difference is... I don't understand your point. Hummingbirds on my porch. Oh, lovely. Feed reminds me to tell you all I appreciate you. We love our birds too. We've got a lot of nightingales at the moment. There's a lot of nightingales. I saw the hippos this morning as well. They're a very pretty bird. Very noisy. Very true. The algorithms put people in a bubble, but they put themselves in the algorithm. The algorithm sees them, this is what you want, and then just puts them there, and they're happy to stay because they're not open-minded. Now I've noticed in my feed recently, it's gone to shit. On my, if I'm logged into my AllShorts channel, and then I, go for the shorts, and the stuff I'm getting now is all bloody dancing and pets. What the hell's going on? It's like, I'm getting like 1 in 20 that I'm vaguely interested in. Didn't used to be like that. It's all gone to tits up, it has. I've got no problem with Obama, but I think Obama was a brilliant president. They all make mistakes, but If you don't like the birds or the bees, get mirrored solar panels. I've got solar panels. We live fairly off-grid here. Yeah, about 70%. About 70%. Regarding electric, anyway. So with me, due process. There is no due process in the United States anymore. No. No one's getting due process, are they? The Constitution has been literally disregarded. It's quite a shame, really, what Donald Trump has done to your country. Trump is the acting president of the BlackRock Corporation, yes. Yes, definitely. And then you got Palantir and all them lot as well, and it's just... We're talking about multi-billionaires again, aren't we? They are looking after their own best interest, and they're supposed to. They are looking after what they want to look after. We should be looking after what we need to look after, and stop funding them. Stop buying their shit. Stop giving them your data. Make sure your data is garbled. We're going to die because of Biden. What? Why? That's ludicrously stupid. We have lots of woodpeckers, pied wagtails, lots of... Yeah, we've got woodpeckers. We've got two varieties. We've got the great spotted woodpecker and a green one. I can't remember what it's called though, which is pretty cool. We jail men for words. They have consequences. You know? We don't. It's not. It's more complicated. If you're going by that guy who got locked up, he was involved in a dance like more than what they tell you in the United States. Everything's man-made, therefore nobody holds any responsibility. It is law that the president no longer has to declare martial law. Well, the can's been kicked down the road, hasn't it? He appealed. The courts also then judged on his behalf in Los Angeles, which is madness. But it doesn't make a difference because Donald Trump knows that all he needs is time. So let's say if a court judges against him, he appeals. It takes time. Meanwhile, he's appealed and they've done a temporary reprieve until it goes to the courts. He carries on doing what he's doing. It's just time. It's just buying more time. Right, I think I've got to make a move because I'm on the battery charger at the minute. And I've been on for 2 hours 42. But, you know, if you want to drop the super chat, I might stay a bit longer. America doesn't even have a law against... what's that? Pakistan. Hey, cheers, Canadian. You love my videos. I love you too. I need to do more. Yeah, I need to do more Canadian videos. There's a lot going on over the moment. I've got a list I need to do. What's going on over there and how they're reacting to Donald Trump and his tariffs, etc., etc., and his rhetoric. I wish we could put Starmer in prison. For what? He ain't done anything illegal. It's just daft. I'm no Starmer fan, but, you know, he hasn't done anything illegal. He might not like what he's done. It's not illegal. You haven't even got a constitution for a start. Donald Trump has done plenty of illegal stuff. Pretty much everything he's doing is illegal. The system needs to be changed to be easier, but also protected. The Emergency Economic Powers Act. Is that the Canadian one? Everyone seems to forget what the Statue of Liberty represents. We want it back in France! Yeah, the French want the Statue of Liberty back. Freedom! That's what it stands for, hence liberty. I eat red candles, apparently. says somebody. Yum. Anyway, it's time for me to go. What's my favourite type of cheese? I suppose it'd be something like Cantal or Feta. Definitely not American cheeses. And Dora likes crumbly cheddar. You can get cheddar where I'm in France, but there's also Cantal, Comte. There's other cheeses like cheddar, not the same, but yeah, like cheddar. But I like the old cheeses. Mimile Ver is nice. Cantal Ver is nice. Extra Ver is extra old. And Gouda as well. Some really nice Goudas. Oh, Gouda's good. Yeah, it's good. If you get like 9-month-old Goudas, it was very nice. And what I found stuff I know actually, some of these really hard cheeses, like Gouda and what have you. If you accidentally put them in the freezer, because that's what we did, we accidentally put it in the freezer, and take it out, they go crumbly. So that's really even nicer. Yeah, take care, everybody. Yeah, I hope. Anyway, don't stress about what's going on. Hopefully, it'll pan out all right. But I just think it's a bit madness myself. But there you go. Anyway, time for you to go. So I can say toodaloo, you know. So toodaloo. I've been live now 2.75 hours. And I did a wee. Thanks, moderators.